Imagine someone you love has just died. You are standing there. You do not know what to do. You feel something enormous moving through you, something that has no name and no edge and no end. Now imagine feeling that exact thing, but it is 100,000 years ago. There is no funeral home, no burial tradition passed down through generations, no religion telling you what happens next. Just you and the body and the grief. What did ancient humans actually do? The answer is stranger, older, and far more human than most people expect. For a long time, scientists assumed early humans treated death the way animals do. They left the body. They moved on. Survival came first, emotion came second. Then the discovery started. In a cave in South Africa called Border Cave, archaeologists found the deliberate burial of an infant. The child had been carefully placed in the ground. A shell ornament was buried alongside it. This burial dates back roughly 100,000 years. 100,000 years ago, someone paused. Someone chose to mark this moment. Someone grieved. That changes everything. Researcher Paul Pettit, who has spent decades studying mortuary behavior in early humans, argues that the ritual treatment of the dead is one of the clearest signals of a fully modern human mind. When you bury someone with objects, you are not just disposing of a body. You are making a statement about what that person meant. You are projecting a belief that something continues beyond death. You are, in the deepest sense, telling a story. Your ancestors were telling that story long before writing existed. In northern Iraq, inside a cave called Shanidar, archaeologists found Neanderthal remains surrounded by clusters of pollen. Some researchers interpreted this as evidence of flower burial, that Neanderthals placed flowers on their dead. The idea is contested. Some scientists argue the pollen arrived through natural means. But what is not contested is that Neanderthal bodies at Shanidar were deliberately positioned, carefully placed, intentionally arranged. Even our closest evolutionary cousins showed signs of caring what happened after death. Think about what that means. The impulse to honor the dead is not a modern invention. It is not a product of civilization or religion or philosophy. It runs deeper than all of that. It may be one of the oldest things your species has ever done. But ancient humans did not only bury their dead. Sometimes they did something far more unsettling. At several prehistoric sites, archaeologists have found human bones that were defleshed, meaning the meat was deliberately removed after death. Cut marks on the bones, skulls that were carefully shaped into cups or bowls. This sounds disturbing, but the evidence suggests it was not violence. It was ritual. Researcher Sylvia Bello, studying remains from Gough's Cave in England dating back 15,000 years, found that the skulls had been processed with great care and precision. The people performing these acts were not acting in panic or aggression. They were performing something intentional, something meaningful. In many cases, anthropologists now believe these practices were a form of honoring the dead, keeping part of the person close, incorporating them into the community even after death. The body was not discarded. It was transformed. Your ancestors did not see death as an ending. They saw it as a transition requiring action, ceremony, and care. And here is the part that reaches across 100,000 years and lands directly in your chest. Grief is not a modern weakness. It is an ancient signal. When researcher Mary Steiner analyzed burial patterns across multiple prehistoric sites, she found that the care given to the dead increased as communities became more complex and interconnected. The more people depended on each other, the more elaborate the response to losing one of them. Grief, in other words, is a measure of connection. The more you love, the harder it hits. That is not a flaw in your design. That is the oldest proof that what you had was real. So the next time you stand at the edge of loss, not knowing what to do, feeling something enormous and nameless moving through you, know this. You are not alone in that feeling. You never were. 100,000 years ago, someone knelt in the dirt, placed a shell beside a small body, and felt exactly what you feel. And they kept going. So did you.